In a quaint cobbled village, nestled within the heart of a vast enchanted forest, there stood a peculiar shop that only appeared at dusk. The villagers called it the Twilight Emporium, and it was said to be run by a mysterious sorcerer known as Meridian. No one knew much about Meridian. Some said he was as old as the forest itself, while others believed he was an otherworldly being. But one thing was for certain: the shop was no ordinary one. It was filled with rare and magical curiosities, and the villagers often ventured into the forest to find it, hoping to obtain the mystical items Meridian had on offer. One evening, a young woman named Elara, with raven-black hair and eyes as deep as the night, decided to visit the Twilight Emporium. She had heard tales of the wondrous treasures hidden within its walls, and yearned for something to break the monotony of her village life. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Elara set off on her journey, following a hidden trail that led her deep into the enchanted forest. The path was illuminated by the soft glow of fireflies, leading her to the secret location of the Twilight Emporium. She approached the door, made of ancient oak, its surface etched with intricate swirling patterns. Elara pushed open the door and stepped into a world of enchantment. The shop was unlike anything she had ever seen. Shelves lined with magical tomes, potion bottles that shimmered like liquid moonlight, and crystals that radiated an ethereal glow filled the space. At the center of the shop, a tall, cloaked figure stood behind a wooden counter. Meridian turned to face her, revealing piercing blue eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. "Welcome, dear traveler," Meridian said, his voice a melodious blend of wind chimes and the rustling leaves. "I am Meridian. How may I assist you today?" Elara gazed around the shop, her eyes filled with wonder. She approached the counter and said, "I've heard tales of the magic hidden within your shop, and I seek something extraordinary, something that will change my life." Meridian studied her for a moment before nodding. "Very well. I have just the item you need." He reached beneath the counter and retrieved a quill. It was no ordinary quill, for its feathers shimmered with a silvery iridescence and its tip glistened like starlight. "This is the Enchanted Quill," Meridian explained. "With it you can bring your Elara returned to her village with the Enchanted Quill, its presence hidden beneath her cloak. The following days were a whirlwind of excitement as she experimented with its power. With a stroke of the quill she conjured a feast fit for a king, and with another she transformed a barren garden into a lush paradise. Word of Elara's newfound abilities spread like wildfire throughout the village, and she quickly became a local legend. People flocked to her, seeking her assistance with their desires, whether it was mending broken relationships, healing the sick, or even turning base metals into gold. But the more Elara used the Enchanted Quill, the more she realized the weight of its power. It wasn't just a tool for personal gain, it held the potential to bring both good and harm. She started to see the consequences of her actions, as her village became divided over the changes she wrought. One evening, a desperate mother approached Elara with a tearful plea to bring her long-lost son back from the dead. Elara hesitated, realizing that such an act might have dire consequences. The villagers watched, their eyes filled with hope and fear. With a heavy heart, Elara used the quill to write the incantation that would resurrect the boy. As the words flowed onto the parchment, the room filled with an eerie, otherworldly light. The boy opened his eyes, but his gaze was vacant, and his voice was no more than a hollow whisper. The mother's joy quickly turned to anguish as she realized her son was not truly alive, but a mere semblance of life. The villagers, once in awe of Ilara's powers, now regarded her with suspicion and fear. Ilara, burdened by the unintended consequences of her actions, knew she had to find a way to set things right. She decided to return to the Twilight Emporium and seek Meridian's guidance. The forest was different at night, shrouded in a cloak of darkness. Ilara followed the same path, guided by the twinkling fireflies. When she reached the hidden location of the shop, she found Meridian waiting for her. "Ah, Ilara," he said with a knowing smile. "I knew you would return. The power of the Enchanted Quill is a double-edged sword, and its use carries a heavy responsibility." Ilara nodded, her eyes filled with regret. "I didn't fully understand the consequences of my actions. I need your help to undo the harm I've caused." Meridian's eyes softened. "You are not the first to be seduced by the Quill's power, and you won't be the last." Ilara set off into the heart of the enchanted forest, guided by a map Meridian had provided. Her journey was filled with challenges and encounters with mystical creatures that tested her courage and determination. She crossed treacherous rivers on the backs of water nymphs, faced riddles from talking owls, and navigated through dark, tangled thickets with the help of fireflies. Along the way, she met a kind-hearted, shape-shifting fox named Orion, who became her loyal companion. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the quill's magic waned, and Ilara realized that she had become too reliant on its power. She had to rely on her own wit and resourcefulness to overcome the obstacles in her path. After days of travel, Ilara and Orion finally reached the heart of the forest, a place of pure magic and beauty. There, they discovered the Fountain of Harmony, a pool of shimmering water that radiated a soothing, iridescent light. Ilara dipped the enchanted quill into the water, and as it absorbed the essence of the fountain, its silvery feathers began to shine even brighter. She knew that the quill had been purified and would no longer carry the burden of unintended consequences. With the purified quill in hand, Ilara and Orion made their way back to the village. The journey had changed her, making her wiser and more aware of the consequences of her actions. She was ready to use the quill's power responsibly. Upon her return, Ilara set about mending the damage caused by her previous actions. She restored the mother's son to his eternal rest, and she helped heal the divisions in the village. The people came to see her not as a sorceress, but as a wise and compassionate leader. Word of her transformation and her quest for harmony spread throughout the land. The tale of Ilara and her enchanted quill inspired people to seek their own paths to self-discovery and responsibility. The end. If you enjoyed this read, please like the video, subscribe and click the notification icon. Thank you and cheerio for now.